I've only known this man for maybe about a half a dozen years. We've met each other in different ways. As I've been up in New Hampshire, we stopped off to meet you there, and we had some time in some other different places in New England, and then he came over to Israel, and we had some time, quite a bit of time there, for a little bit of time here and there. And it's just been a real joy to get to know this brother. I see, you know what I see in him? Not the gifting, not all those wonderful things that I do, but I see Jesus in him. And that's all I'm really looking for, and all the rest will come with it. And we just are really blessed to have you here, and blessed to know you a little bit, and we just welcome you to be here. Okay, right now. Okay. Now, right now, we want to share something with you. About 3 nights ago, I had a dream I believe that was from the Lord. I woke up after the dream, and I spent a couple of hours in prayer, and I really believed that this dream was possibly for the conference here. Had time to share it with John Paul, and he gave a wonderful interpretation to it. And we felt that we needed to share it tonight. So I'd like to share the dream, and then John Paul is going to speak and interpret the dream, and then continue on just to speak.
It's not to the conference and what's going to happen, but it's to be shared with the conference so it's not happening in the conference, it's about what's happening.
That's why you're interpreting for clarity. Isn't that good?
I just wanted to let them know, because we've already talked about this, and I've already interpreted it.
Anything else you want to say?
No, you go right ahead.
Okay. I was looking over by the western wall, and I'm going to draw a little picture for you here, because you need to see some of the angles. The western wall is here, and on the corner side over here is the men's side, where there are several tunnels that the men can go in. So you have the western wall here, the very large plaza, and off to the side here, I was standing off to this side in a room about 3 floors up, and could not quite see the wall because I was a little around the lip of a corner here. So I would have to look out to see the wall, but couldn't really see the wall at all. Suddenly I heard a raging voice of a man that sounded demonic. I knew that this was an absolute rage. That was the first clear impression that I had of the Lord. And so I'm looking over here trying to see the wall, but couldn't see it, and I hear screaming in the raging man, and all of a sudden I saw rocks being flung out into the whole plaza as I'm looking over the whole plaza of Jerusalem. Rocks being flung out from the wall by this man out into the plaza. Small little rocks, 10, 15 something, just a whole bunch of them being thrown out in rage. Then suddenly I understood and heard that he pulled a block out of the western wall, a block 2 to 3 feet type, pulled it out of the wall, and as he did, and I couldn't see him though, but I knew that he was pulling this block out, and as soon as he did, I said to myself, we have crossed over a line. We have entered into something dangerous here, and this is extremely dangerous now. So, all of a sudden, I saw the block come flying out into the courtyard where the other small rocks were, and it spun like a top very quickly. And as it spun, pieces were breaking off the rock and flying out and just being dispersed. But it was spinning in an ability that, like, no man could spin this thing. It was spun in kind of an angelic power type of thing. It was beyond human ability to throw that rock that fast. And I'm sitting here trying to view the wall, but couldn't see it. And then I saw that same exact thing take place 3 times. I saw the small rocks come out again and break. I heard the man pulling out that block out of the western wall and flinging it and seeing it all break apart. 3 times, one after the other. And each time I did, the clear impression was something demonic was going on here. So I'm in this house in a window, and there's bars in front of me, as we have bars in Israel, and in a corner of a lip of the building. So I slid down about 3 floors, climbing down the bars of the window to come down to see what was taking place at the wall. As soon as I got down here to the place, I was immediately pushed. I was put into the middle of the plaza, looking straight to the front of the wall, the kotel, the western wall. And I saw the top of the wall had large blocks in it, as you can imagine the western wall does. And as it came down, the blocks continued there. And as it came down maybe to about 10 feet, it started to slope out, and it was all made of dirt instead of stones. So at the bottom of the wall where the biggest blocks are, instead it wasn't that, it was dirt coming out and just turned into dirt, and then there's supporting rocks holding up the wall. Okay? And as I looked at that, I saw 3 large stones, a very large stone coming up about 1 foot wide, one coming up this height, another one coming across, and another one coming down, as you would see in a biblical place of stones and a capstone put on top to hold the 2 together. And it was a cave type of thing, leading in right into the wall. And as I stood here, I saw 3 sheep run straight out of that cave, scattering and running for the... And they got out. They escaped. Immediately after that, I saw a donkey. And the donkey had like kind of 2 side packs on his thing, as they usually do. And he had also like a pack on his back. And his head was up there. And as he came out of this cave, his head or back hit that top cornerstone piece that was holding everything. Everything came tumbling down on top of him. All the rock, all the debris, probably 10 plus feet, came down and completely buried him under the rubble, and especially that capstone. And I stood there thinking, that there were people in the plaza there that's very, very large, thinking that at some point people are going to go up and try to dig out this donkey and pull him out. But no one even attempted to try to dig him out. And all of a sudden there was basically no people in the plaza. And I awoke. And I sat there for a good couple, asking him the meaning of this. And especially the demonic rage that was attached to it.
I mean, very good that you got, that's great. One of the things that the Lord had me do years and years ago was he had me go through the Bible and dissect every dream, every vision, every prophecy, every parable that's in the Bible. It took a while to do that. And I'm still doing that, going back at deeper levels because I've learned deeper things than I learned then. But what you find out, some incredibly consistent ways that right and so Mikhael had this, the first part of this 3 times, which indicates that there's 3 different levels that this is going to happen, leading to a 4th incident that's even worse. The man, demonic-driven man, correctly identified, was raising issues regarding the wall. And anybody who was coming there, he would throw stones at them. And so meant to hurt, like, if I can hurt you, you'll stay away. And then it graduated to a larger stone, and in fact, very large, and superhumanly was able to throw that at the people. And the large stone represents foundational issues that he's trying to destroy regarding the Jewish people and Israel and the land and the basic. You see, Jerusalem by the sages was considered to be the belly button of the earth. Did you know that? The belly button of the earth. It's like God said, you're done. And so the very issue, one of the core issues of the Jews knowing that they're to be there is the raising of that western wall of the Temple Mount. So you start tearing down that wall, you start taking out stones out of that wall, you're basically taking down big issues. You're attacking the very foundation of what God wants to do or what God is doing. And from that, then even that, maybe somebody wouldn't swallow the big issues, but the small issues they might get hit by and might change their mind concerning, do I support Israel, do I not support Israel? Like the 73 leaders that wrote President Obama saying the church has replaced Israel. Israel is no longer Israel. God has rejected Israel. So you don't have to give special favor to Israel. That's the type of thinking that results from people that have had these type of stones hit them. And so it just not only hits the leaders, it hits many, many people as well. This happened 3 times, meaning there's a Trinity and there's an unholy Trinity. And this is an act of the unholy Trinity, desiring to do something more with that Temple Mount, take greater control of that Temple Mount. Then the dirt that came out from the wall and sloped down was basically because people began to throw dirt on this whole issue. People began to put it down. Zechariah tells us that Jerusalem is going to be a cup of trembling, that Jerusalem is going to be a millstone. And so when that begins to happen, people are going to come against Israel and going to come against this whole issue of the Jews in the Temple Mount area and the Western Wall, and throwing dirt on it would be symbolic of scorn, criticism, and a lack of support. Those 3 things then lead to a 4th thing, because he said the first thing happened 3 times. Then there was a greater thing. Something escalated, and he got down from where he was, and he looked at what was going on at the Western Wall, and he saw a hole, like a cave, but it had a door, and the door was a low door. And from that low door was coming sheep. The sheep represent the church, the body of Christ. So the church. And they were bleating or in panic, meaning they came out from underneath the Temple Mount, meaning they came out from supporting the Temple Mount out and were afraid. So again, it becomes a cup of trembling, something that makes them hurt, something that makes them panic. And if we support this, then we'll be in trouble. So the sheep come running out, but they're driven by another animal, a donkey. And the donkey represents stubbornness or stiff-necked. So the church is going to be driven away from the support of Jerusalem and the Jewish people and Israel by stiff-necked leaders who are carrying something on the back. It's the backpack. It's the side saddles, and then on the neck as well. So meaning they're carrying what they think is a valuable load, but it's nothing. And their desire is that the church would change its views on Israel so that the whole Palestinian-Israel issue can be settled. And in doing so, it hits this door. This door is the Dalet. It's the low door. You only get through it by humility. But pride reared up in the stiff-necked. And so they tried to exit from that which they got in through humility. Now they're trying to exit with pride. And it destroys things. And what this basically means is that there's a growing surge within the church to stop its view of Israel and replace it with the church. It's called replacement theology. And it has a lot of different segments to it and different philosophies that go along with it. But all in all, you take the 20 different views of replacement theology and it's still called replacement theology. And that's what's going on. That's growing and accelerating here in the United States at a very rapid pace. It's already rampant in England and already rampant in Germany and already rampant in most of Europe. And so the dream was indicating that the church needs to be aware. This is the plan. It's a warning dream. Warning dreams say, this is going to happen unless you pray. Unless the church changes its view, this is what's going on right now, and this is what it's going to lead to. So I take it very seriously. I think the Lord gave that to Mikhaels before this conference so that it could be spoken at this conference for your sake, so that you can intensify your prayer and the circle of influence that each of you have. You can start talking about this because it's going to be very, very important to the health of this nation what the church believes. It's going to be very, very important to the health of this nation what we believe. So that's the meaning of the dream. Small stones become larger stones, foundational issues. It's going to happen 3 times instigated by an unholy trinity, demonically driven. It's going to cause the church to panic, and it's going to be driven by stiff-necked and proud people that entered this whole thing through humility and now are trying to show how great and prideful they are and how much they know. Usually when man says how much he knows, God says, really? Really? You know so much? And things come tumbling down. Things come tumbling down. So dreams are very, very, very important in these day and age.